അനുപമിതം കാലദേശാവധിഭ്യാം നിർമുക്തം നിത്യമുക്തം നിഗമശതസഹസ്രേണ നിർഭാസ്യമാനം അസ്പഷ്ടം ദൃഷ്ടമാത്രേ പുനരുരുപുരുഷാർത്ഥാത്മകം ബ്രഹ്മതത്വം തത്താവത് ഭാതി സാക്ഷാത് ഗുരുപവനപുരേ ഹന്തഭാഗ്യം ജനാനാം. No, no, I have not unmute.
He's talking, sorry. Sir, can you unmute?
Clearing. Hello? Can you hear me?
Unmute.
Can you hear me? Unmute ചെയ്യാൻ പറയണ്ടല്ലോ. Stop. Hello?
Now we can hear you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Hello, can you hear me and see me? Can
Yes,
you
we can hear you.
and see me? You can see me also?
Video. No, your camera is off, so if you can turn it on.
Yeah, I will do. Now? Video has come?
Yes.
Okay. ഓം സാന്ദ്രാനന്ദ അവബോധാത്മകമനുപമിതം കാലദേശാവധിഭ്യാം നിർമുക്തം നിത്യമുക്തം നിഗമശതസഹസ്രേണ നിർഭാസ്യമാനം അസ്പഷ്ടം ദൃഷ്ടമാത്രേ പുനരുരുപുരുഷാർത്ഥാത്മകം ബ്രഹ്മതത്വം തത്താവത് ഭാതി സാക്ഷാത് ഗുരുപവനപുരേ ഹന്ത ഭാഗ്യം ജനാനാം. യോന്തപ്രവിശ്യ മമ വാചമിമാം പ്രസുപ്താം സഞ്ജീവയത്യഖിലശക്തിധരസ്വധാംനാ അന്യാംശ്ച ഹസ്തചരണശ്രവണത്വഗാദീൻ പ്രാണാൻ നമോ ഭഗവതേ പുരുഷായ തുഭ്യം. Most respected Dr. C.L. Prabhakarji, beloved inmates of Nada Veda Adhyayana Kendra and the waves of US, United States, the Sajjanas, those who are attending this program online, I salute you all. I express my namaskaram to all. Today, I have been invited by my reverend friend Dr. C.L. Prabhakar to deliver a talk on Srimad Narayaniya, which has been it is as jointly organized by Nada Veda Adhyayana Kendra and the waves of United States. You can hear? Hello? You can hear? Hello?
Sir, we are able to hear you.
Okay.
We are able to hear you.
Okay. Thank you. I am most fortunate and privileged to speak on Narayaniya, a gem of a Bhakti Kavya and also a text, a quintessence of Advaita Vedanta. It is a brilliant compendium of Srimad Bhagavata in 1034 verses, divided into 100 dashakas. It is in adoration of the Lord of Guruvayur, Vishnu incarnated Krishna, the presiding deity of Guruvayur. As Dr. C.L. Prabhakar has told rightly, the Bhagavan Sri Krishna He himself is medicine and the doctor. Bhishajam and Bhishak and Bheshaja, medicine and doctor. This is the two names in Vishnu Sahasranama, Bheshajam and Bhishak. These names have proved fully meaningful by the life of Narayana Bhattatiri. Here, the eternal beauty of this Kavya has been well suggested by poet Narayana Bhatta with several layers of suggested meanings in the third shloka of second Dashaka. Yat Trailokyamakhiyasopi mahidam sammohanam mohanat kandam kandinidhanatopi madhuram madhuryadhuryadapi सौंदर्योत्तरतोऽपि सुन्दरतरं त्वद्रूपम् आश्चर्यतोऽप्याश्चर्यं भुवनेन कस्य कुतुकं पुष्णादि विष्णो विभो. The meaning is like this, it runs like this. O all-pervading the being, the all-pervading being who is there in all the universe, that will not be entranced by this thy superior, surprisingly wonderful form, which is superior in excellences to all objects considered great in the three worlds, which is more charming than the most charming of entities, which splendor outshines every form and of brilliance, and whose sweetness and beauty would put to shame all other objects that are noted for such qualities. Here in this verse, in this shloka, the literal sense, that is Vachyartha, it denotes the eternal beauty of Lord Krishna, the bodily form. But at the divine plane of suggested meaning, Vyangyartha, it attunes to the aesthetic charm of Narayaniyam also. All the epithets given here, the Visheshanas in this shloka, are equally applicable to the body of the Kavya also. Yat Trailokya Mahiyasopi Mahidam Sammohanam Mohana Kandam Kandinidhanatopi Madhuram Madhurya Dhuryadapi Saundaryotaradopi Sundarataram Todrubam Ashcharyadopyasam. It goes like that. The beauty of its Shabda Shilpa, Artha Shilpa, and Rasabhava Shilpa. These are the three major categories of a Kavya. At several contexts, this has been found repeated. Even the opening verse of Narayaniyam, as you know very well, Sandrananda avabodhatmakam anupamitam kaladeshavadhibhyam nirmukram nityamukram nigamashata sahasrena nirbhasyamanam aspashtam drishtamatre punarurupurusharthatmakam brahmatattvam tattavadbhadi sakshad guru pavanapure handabhagyam jananam. In the temple of Guruvayur, there shines in truth and in reality what appears at the first sight to be mere an image, but on contemplation reveals itself reveals itself to be the condensed essence of consciousness, the bliss, the veritable Brahman, the Supreme, who is the ultimate end of the human endeavors, to whom there is none comparable, who is ever beyond the limitations of time and space, Deshakalavadibhyam nirmuktam, who is eternally free, and whose nature the numerous texts of the Vedas seek to reveal. Nigama Sader Giyamanam. Fortunate indeed is mankind that such a manifestation of divinity exists in its midst as the image of Sri Krishna, Handa Bhagyam Janana. Here, the Vachya level, as I quoted in the first verse, Yat Trailokya Mahiyasopi Mahidam. Likewise, in this first starting verse also, it is both the adjectives are equally relevant in both Vachyartha and Vingyartha. In the literal sense, it is applicable to the God, the idol, the Brahmaswarupi Bhagavan, and in the suggested sense, it is applicable to the qualities of this great Kavya. Here the Vachya level, literal meaning, gives a clear picture of the characteristics of God Vishnu Krishna, the presiding deity of Guruvayur, who is his first sight, not so clear, feels only as an idol, but on contemplation realizes that he is the condensed essence of consciousness, the veritable Brahman, the consciousness, the bliss, who is the ultimate Brahman, supreme, who is the ultimate end of all endeavors. And to realize whose nature Vedic mantras seek to realize, Tat Tavat Bhadi Sakshat Guru Pavanapure Hanta Bhagyam Janana. So, here it exists in Guruvayur as an idol, as we said earlier. The suggestions brings to the beauty and quintessence and all good characteristics of a kavya of a superior variety, a kavya of a superior variety called Dhvani. Narayana Bhatta, here why I gave such an introduction, connecting the qualities of the Brahman, mentioning the opening verse of Narayaniyam, to show that Narayaniyam is the quintessence of Vedanta, and at the same time, as a kavya, it is full of rasa nirbhara. It is full of rasa. It is the super variety of poetry. It is the Rasadhvani Kavya. Narayana Bhattatiri, the divine soul, who composed Narayaniyam, is second to Shankara Bhagavalpada in scholarship and also in creativity. Bhattatiri, actually he is a two-in-one. He is an attractive fusion of solar luster of scholarship and lunar cool light of poetic creativity. I have written a verse on him, and it starts like that. Shastre vistrata yukti jala jatile saundarya saratmage sahityecha samam vihara chadura pratnya tavanyadrishi. This is fully applicable to Matpatur Narayana Bhatta. This is what I wrote about him. His scholarship in various Shastras, especially in Vedanta, and the supreme creativity brought him to the level of Sri Shankaracharya, next to Shankaracharya. Even though Bhattatiri has authored more than 50 compositions in different literary and scientific genres, it is the only work, Narayaniya, which stands unique both as a Shastra and a Kavya. Narayaniya is a Shastra and also a Kavya, because it is the condensed form of Srimad Bhagavata. Bhagavata is also a Kavya and a Shastra. In the beginning itself, in the Bhagavata, it is told that Bhagavata is Rasamalayam. Actually, a Kavya is a Rasalaya, Rasamalayam, Rasasya Alayam. So, and Nigama Kalpataror Galidam Bhalam So there the Vedanta comes. So both Vedanta, it is a text on Vedanta, and also it is a text, it's also equally a super variety of Kavya. So, even though the Bhattacharya has authored more than 50 compositions in different literary and scientific genres, it is the only work, Narayaniya, which stands unique both as a Shastra and a Kavya. So, a Shastra has to be studied with Yukti and Vibhakti, and a Kavya can be studied by Bhakti and Vibhakti. So, Bhakriya, Yukriya, Vibhakriya cha Nyayam Bhagavatam Smritam. So, Bhagavata can study only by Bhakti, only through Bhakti, and Yukti, Yukti means logic, and Vibhakti, that is wisdom, intelligence, the knowledge. Narayaniya, the condensed form of Bhagavata, the epitome of Bhagavata, rather, also deserves these observations. As we know, the core idea of Bhagavata is, as suggested in the text, Sarva Vedanta Saram Yad. What is the essence of all Vedanta texts? Shankara says, with half of a verse, Shlokardhena Prabhakshyami Yadukram Grantha Kodibhi Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva. This is what Shankara has told. So here also, the philosopher, the Darshanika, he says, Sarva Vedanta Saram Yat Brahmatmaikatva Lakshanam. Brahmatmaikatva Lakshanam. Brahma and Atma, Jivatma, both are same. Ekatva Lakshanam. Vastu Advidiyam. Tan Nishtham. Kaivalyega Prayojanam. So, this is the crux of Vedanta. This is what is to be studied from Vedanta texts. The crux of Bhagavata is the realization of Jiva as Paramatma. The ultimate bliss. Paramatma means the ultimate bliss, the consciousness. In Bhagavata, we realize that all the stories depicted in it, in Bhagavata, are directly or indirectly develop bhakti, the bhakti rasa, the emotion bhakti, the bhakti rasa, with its perfection of application, and also lead to the final emancipation. Even though Sri Shankaracharya theorized in Viveka Chudamani that his Prakarana text on Vedanta, Viveka Chudamani, I quote, Karmana jayate bhakrihi, bhakriyat jnanam prajayate, jnanat sanjayate moksha, idi Vedartha Nishchaya. It means that jnana is the direct upaya for moksha. That's what Shankara says. Bhakri can be an upaya to jnana, but the direct upaya to moksha is jnana. That is the principle of Shankara, theory of Shankara. But Bhattacharya is of opinion. He has a different opinion. He is of opinion that if you develop bhakti, that is called not normal bhakti, laugika bhakti, the nishkama bhakti, which is of a superior variety, ultimately you will reach the final emancipation, and bhakti is only identity to what we call identity connected to moksha. And it is bhakti goes to here Shankara, he says that through karma, when you do nishkama karma, your mind become clear, and the God will dawn in your mind, and you will have you will be a bhakta, and through bhakti you will slowly move to the vibhakti, that is jnana, and finally you will, through jnana, you will reach the final salvation. But here, all the at the fag end of Bhagavata, in the last chapter, the Sarga, Krishna Dvaipayana, the Puranakara, Bhagavatakara, says that Srimad Bhagavatam Puranamamalam Yad Vaishnavanam Dhanam Yasmin Paramahamsya Vrittim Amalam Jnanam Param Giyate. Yasmin Paramahamsya Vrittim Amalam Jnanam Param Giyate. Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakri Sahitam Naishkarmyam Avishkritam Yat Shrunvan Vipathan Vicharanaparo Bhakriya Vimuchyennara. Here also, even though the Chittavrti called Bhakti has not been accepted by prominent rhetoricians, Alangarikas, as a rasa, Bhattatiri made it a supreme sentiment. He told that this is the main sentiment, and all other worldly sentiments like Sringara, Shoka, Karuna, and all those things are subservient to it, subordinate to it. And he says that Bhakti is the dominant rasa. He proved it by composing Narayaniya in this level. He developing it with the support of all other Bhakti, developing it with the support of all other rasas, all bhavas, as says as it is auxiliaries of angas. And actually, this is the theory of Madhusudana Saraswati, the great Vedandin of Shankara order. Madhusudana Saraswati, the author of Bhakti Rasayana, a great unique Alangara Grantha, a writerly work where he establishes that Bhakti is the main sentiment in the Kavya. Even though in Bhagavata it is depicted 9 types of Bhakti as Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc., we can come across unlimited shades of Bhakti being handled by the unique creativity of Bhattatiri in Narayaniya. Actually, Bhagavatakara says about 9 different types of Bhaktis. In Bhagavata also we can see the different shades of it. But in Purana, there are abundant possibilities of narrating the Rajavamshas and the history and so many other things which are not directly connected with the Bhakti emotion, the Bhakti rasa. That's why in Purana we are not feeling much Bhakti, but when you come to the Kavya, Bhakti Kavya, especially Narayaniya, you will straightly from the very first syllable of the text up to the last, Yogi Indranam Tadangeshwadhika Sumudharam Tvade Mahatvam, the last verse of Narayaniya, it is full of, it is just like Daksha Paka, just like a grapes. When the grapes is fully ripe enough, if you put in your mouth and just have a small bite, immediately the entire sweet water will, the entire rasa will be flowing like anything as a stream in your mouth. Like that, this Kavya of Bhakti Kavya also, it is like that. So, here Bhattatiri, even though he has abridged Bhagavata, he has eliminated such stories from Bhagavata which are not directly suggesting Bhakti. So, those who are directly connected with Bhakti, those who can directly suggest Bhakti, which can develop Bhakti, such stories are being selected from Bhagavata by Madhpatur Narayana Bhattatiri. Here, the basic text of Advaita philosophy is being depicted so aesthetically. Here, Advaita Vedanta, Narayaniya can be qualified as an Advaita Vedanta text, basically an Advaita Vedanta text, because the Advaita Vedanta theory has been started from the very beginning of the sloka, the very beginning of the Kavya. Sandra Ananda Avabodhatmakam. What is Sandra Ananda Avabodha? All these Ananda Avabodha, all these things are the characteristics of Paramatma, Brahma. So, this is the basic tenets of Advaita philosophy is being depicted so aesthetically through Kavya medium and the medium of poetry, and made appealing by the author to a great extent, which we cannot come across in any other kavyas. This is the uniqueness of this Narayaniya Stotra Kavya. The basic text of Advaita and its dealings in Narayaniya in poetic language is to be discussed a little bit. Brahman is the only reality in Narayaniyam. And Brahman is the only reality. He says, Tum hi brahmaiva sakshat paramuru mahiman aksharanam akara taro mandreshu rajnyam manurasi munishitvam bhragurnaradovi prahlado danavanam pashushu surabhi pakshinam vainadeyo naganam asyananda surasaridapi jasrotasam vishwamurte. O thou of infinite that greatness, of whom the whole universe is the body. This is Brahman. You are verily Brahman, perceptible among letters, though you are you are not you are among mantras. Akaro mandreshu. You are the saving sound of Om. Among kings, you are Manu. Among sages, you are Bhrigu and Narada. Among Danavas, you are Prahlada. Among animals, you are the heavenly cow Kamathenu. And among birds, you are Garuda. Among serpents, you are Ananda. Among Ananda and among rivers, you are the heavenly Ganga, Vishnupati, Ganga. See how beautifully he has mentioned and how he has made it very clear how Brahman can be explained. And that is Advidiya. And here he says that Tvam hi brahmaiva sakshat, this verse I have quoted here. The very first verse depicts this Sandrananda, that the Brahman, the Supreme Self, theorized by Vedantins, is the presiding deity of Guruvayur. The Brahman itself is the presiding deity of Guruvayur in the form of Lord Vishnu, Krishna incarnated. Here, Maya, the second point in Advaita Vedanta, we are talking about talking about Brahman, the first principle. Egam Advidiyam Brahma. And when you speak about the Vedanta, the second point is Maya or Avidya, which is indeterminable, either a Sat, that is real, and or Asat, this, and as an absolute nothing, appearing as Ishvara, the Jiva and the world. The Brahman, because of Maya, it appears as world. It appears as Jiva. It appears as Ishvara. Even in Advaita Vedanta, the ultimate stage, even Ishvara is negated. The great verses like Yade Toyashu Vada Gula Jalada Toya Purna Adi Purna, that in Markandeya Charita in the Narayaniya in 97th Deshaka, Saptarno Rashi Magne Jagadi Sadujale Sambhraman Varshakodi, Dina Praikshishta Dure Vadadala Sayanam Kanjidashcharya Balam Twameva Shyamalangam Vadana Sarasijan Nyasta Padangulikam. So, very beautifully it has mentioned that Yate Tuyashu Vadagula Jaladagala Toya Purna Adighurna Saptarno Rashi Madhye Jagadi Sadujale Sambhraman Varshakodi Kodi Dina Praikshishta Dure Vadadala Sayanam Kanjidashcharya Balam Twameva Shyamalangam Vadana Sarasijanyasta Padangulikam. Immediately after that, the departure of Naranarayana, the Markandeya Muni of age of 16. So in the wake of heavy winds and clouds, torrential rain, falling, and the seven seas overflowing and deluging the whole world. In that deluge, Markandeya found himself a helpless and a very wandered for cross of years. He has to cross several years in that water. At length, he saw at a distance a wondrous infant, blue in complexion, Dina Prakshishta Dure, Vadadala Sayanam, Kanchidashcharya Balam. And he saw an infant, a small baby, blue in complexion, lying on a banyan leaf and sucking its toes with its lotus mouth. Kararavindena Padaravindam Mukharavinde Viniveshayandam Vadasya Patrasya Puteshayanam Balam Mugundam Manasasmarami. So this is the Maya. This is how Narayana showed his Maya to Markandeya Muni. Jiva is none other than Brahman. Bhushasu Swarnavadva Jagadi Gashasaravadige Mrtigaval Tatve Sanjindyamane. Like that it goes. Because of the paucity of time, I am not quoting. If I quote one verse and if I have to justify my explanations, at least it requires more than 1 hour to explain one shloka. The world is non-real as the silver that appears in a shell. Sukti Rajatavat. And the direct knowledge of the true nature of Jiva as Brahman is the sole means for celebration, for the liberation. According to Bhattathiri, the easy and attractive path for salvation, that is final emancipation, is bhakti. So he differs from Shankara in this point of view. His upaya is more akin and also appealing to the ordinary people. He has depicted all 9 types of bhaktis along with hundreds of shades of bhakti emotion through his poetic skill. The Navavidha Bhakti in Bhagavata has been illustrated through the stories of Parikshit. Parikshit Raja, hearing Bhagavata, he finally entered moksha. He reached moksha. That is Shravanam. And Kirtanam, they always uttering the names of Krishna or Narayana, the Ajamila, Narada and Vyasa, even the rishis, Prachetas, all these great gifted souls depicted in Bhagavata in several places. They are through Kirtanam, they attained Bhagavad Rupam. And Smaranam, that is, as you know, the story of Pandya Khanda Adiraja. Indradyumna Pandya Khanda Adiraja, Tvatbhakratma Chandanadra Ukalajit. Narayaniam starts like that. The story of the great devotee, Pandya Raja. He became a Gaja. Even there he was Gajendra. He was the what we call the most revered, the most respected, the most powerful, the most what we call having the leadership among the elephants. So he is Gajendra. So Gajendra and even Vritrasura, they all through Smarana. Because he cannot recite names, he cannot hear Bhagavata, but he, in his previous birth, what he had undergone, the great devotion to Vishnu, he just remembered because of his Purva Janmarjita Sukrita. He remembered it, and through Smarana, Gajendra and Vritrasura got liberated. And Padasevanam, that is Mahabali, the first example. He really merged in Pada of Mahavishnu. and even all wives of Krishna. Archanam, that is Daksha Prajapati, Kashyapa, Aditi, several examples are there in Bhagavata. And Vandanam, that is Mujukunda, Vidura, Bhishma, etc. And Dasyam, that is Prahlada and Sairandri. I am giving one or two examples, but there are several examples are there. And even Akrura. Akrura is just like a servant. Akrura Bhakti, when he was being depicted, when he went to the what we call the Gopavati, he was just rolling in the ground. Pamsu Swaveshtada Bhavat Charanangileshu. The footprints of Krishna, wherever he saw the footprints of Krishna, he was rolling in that mud. And that type of superior variety of bhakti, ignoring everything, his status and so many things. He is a direct brother of Kamsa and he belongs to a great royal family, but he forgot all his attributes. And he was rolling because of his deep devotion. And Sakhyam, that you can see, no, Arjuna, Sridama, Kuchela. And finally, Atma Nivedanam, that is Rukmini. And finally, the gopis, the gopikas. They surrendered themselves to Krishna. They know that they are not different from Krishna. Krishna at the last stage after Mahabharata Yuddha, Krishna reaches gopis and advises them, don't think that we are different. All Jivatmas are the same one, the Paramatma, the same one, and there is no difference. And this type of Abheda Buddhi was there in the very beginning of gopis. Gopis, even though they enact themselves as grief-stricken, but actually they are not grief-stricken. They are from the very beginning. Even when they sell the butter, milk, such things in the road in the early morning, they recite just butter like that, and slowly they will enter into the name of Krishna, different names of Krishna. Do you want Govinda? Do you want Krishna? Do you want Padmanabha? Like that. They change to their names. So they are fully immersed in the names of Krishna, in the bhakti of Krishna, and they never find any difference between themselves with Krishna. In Narayaniyam, we find the Gopikas that they have undergone all the 9 types of bhaktis. That is the very peculiar aspect of Narayaniyam. Bhagavata, it is explained, but it is just like an ocean. As Dr. Prabhakar has told, Mahabhagavatam is more than 18,000 slokas, and it is a very big work. And you cannot find at a stretch putting all these things together. All the shades of bhakti, all the varieties of bhakti are put in one nutshell, that is gopis. Gopis have undergone Shravana, Kirtana, Smarana, Padasevana, all these things up to Atma Nivedanam. Finally, the Atma Nivedanam comes. So, in Narayaniyam we find the Gopikas that they have undergone all the 9 types of bhaktis and all the 9 varieties, and they attained the divine form and merged in Krishna. I pointed out my view earlier that on Narayaniya that it is a Kavya and a Shastra put in one. The Uttama Kavya, the most superior variety, is always pregnant with a rasa suggested. Pibada Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. So a superior variety of a Kavya. Bhagavata is also considered as a Kavya. That is why the author, Krishna Dvaipayana, in the opening verse itself, he has mentioned that this is Rasamalayam. The Shabda, Artha, Alankara, Guna, Vritta, etc., the different ingredients of a Kavya, all should be directly or indirectly suggestive in nature, to the central point that is rasa. Rasa should be suggested by all these things, all these elements. All these elements are being accepted in a kavya only to suggest the central point of the kavya, that is rasa. Here is here in Narayaniya, the real connoisseur will enjoy bhakti rasa in its fullest sense, though the architectonics, the Vyanjaka Samagri is called Shabda, Artha, Alangara, Guna, Vrta, and Vrta, etc., meter, etc. The meters selected in Narayaniyam fully justify these observations, what I have made above. For example, in Rasa Panchadhyayi, the 5 dashakas depicting Rasa Krida, among the 5 dashakas, the dashaka 69 is composed in Kusuma Manjari meter, which bears composed in Kusuma Manjari meter, which bears the characteristics of dance, music, joy, and finally the eternal bliss. Just I quote a verse from that. Venunada kritata anadana kalaga anaraga gati yojana lobhani amrudupada pata kritatala melana manoharam pani sankonita kankanam jamuhu amsalembita karambujam Shroni bimba chaladambaram bhajata rasa keli rasadambaram. And again, at the end of the dance, all orchestra has been stopped, slowly came down. Ganami saviratam kramena kilavadyamelanamuparatam Brahma sammadarasa sadasi kevalam nanruturangana Navidannapi cha nivikam kimapi kundalimapi cha kanjulim Jyotishamapi kadambakam divi vilambitam kimaparam bruve. The singing stopped. The sound of instruments, orchestra also gradually ceased. But immersed in the bliss of Brahman, the Gopikas continued to dance silently in that circle of dancers without accompaniments. Nor were they aware that their wearing clothes and braziers had slipped from the top of their chest and their breast, and that their hair had got loose and disheveled. Even the stars in their courses, seemed to stop to enjoy the blissful experience. What more I can say? Kimaparam bruve, what I can say more? So, here, the entire meter of the meter Kusuma Manjari is an effective medium to suggest Madhura Bhakti or Gopika's Pranaya Bhakti. Through Pranaya Bhakti, they all attained Brahman. And Ganami Saviratam Kramena Kilavadyamelanam Uparadam, that verse which I have quoted has clearly stated, suggested how these gopis, without any torture, by penance, by tapas, and also by acquiring knowledge, studying all shastras, they never need all these things. They, through their Madhura Bhakti, their Pranaya Bhakti, they identified themselves with God, Krishna, and they merged in that Brahma Sarupi, and finally they became Brahman. While dealing with Kaliya Darpaharana in Kaliya Mardana Dashaka 55 and 56, he employs the meter called Todaka, of which the Gana Niyamas, the rules of Ganas, are fully akin to, very suitable to the dance of Krishna on the head of Kaliya. It is not like Rasa Panchadhyayi dance. The dance of Rasa Krida and the dance on Kaliya are quite different. It is Uddhata Nirta. The other one is Lasya Nirta in Rasa Panchadhyayi. Very mridula, very soft oriented, but it is very, very crude and very rude. The dance on the top of, on the head of Kaliya, what he has done. That is the meter selected here, the Todaka meter. The ganas in that all are very suitable to. The example I will tell you, the shloka, Atha deksho videksho pareksho bheda brahmedo daravari ninada bharai udagadudagaduragaadhipadisto dubandamasandharusandhamana. See how it is that the Uddhata Nirta, the Padanyasa, the placing of food on the top of the bhani, the sarpa, has been depicted by Bhattadiri. Even in 60th Dashaka, the depiction of dance continues with another meter called Dhruta Vilambita. There also, the Dhruta Vilambita, how the dance and its gradual slowness, this has been suggested by Dhruta Vilambita. While depicting Narasimha Avatara, the 25th Dashaka, where the lion god appeared, incarnated, Narasimha Avatara, the meter selected is Shardula Vikridita. As its name suggests, the Shardula Vikridita, the name suggests, the emotions like Raudra, Veera, Jugupsa, etc. are brought to light with full vigor. Ulsarpadvali bhanga bheshanahano hraswasthaviyastaragrivam pevaradosatul gadanakakruram sudurolbanam vyomolanghi ghanaghanopamaghana pradhvala nirdhavidaspardhalu prakaram namami bhavadat tannarasimham babu. So, the Dashaka 76, where Uddhava Dutam is being dealt with as his predecessors done, Bhattadiri selects Mandakranta meter for sending message to gopis. The Sandeshakavya meter is known as Mandakranta. The first it has been used by Kalidasa. He is the man, the pioneer in the field, and later all Sandeshakavyas, the poets, they have selected Mandakranta as the meter for Sandeshakavya. Why they have selected Mandakranta for this? Here Narayana Bhattadiri also selected Mandakranta for this purpose. So, Rasa Krida Lulita Lalitam Vishladhal Kesapasam Mandot Bhinna Srama Jalaganam Lobhaniyam Todangam Karunyabdhe Sagradapi Samalingidum Dershayedi Prayanmonmadal Bhuvana Madana Tulpriyastam Vilepu. The meter Mandakranta bears ganas like Magana and Nagana, which are full of gurus and laghus. While it is while the gana is full of guru, then there will be 6 matras. Each guru is having 2 matras. So totally it will be 6. So it will be very heavy. And laghu, when gana becomes laghu, it is only 3 matras. So just half of that. So it is light, less weight. The weight of the mind has been in separation. When you send a message to your lover, you are separated, and because of that, you have 2 emotions in your mind. The first one is eagerness to know about the other counterpart. That is outsukya, to know what is happening to her or to him. That will be one of the interesting emotions of a separated person. And the second one is dainya. Dainya is weakness due to separation. Your mind has become weak. And when your mind is full of sorrow, it will full of weight. And Guru, the Gana has been suggested, with the full of Guru, it has suggested the heaviness of the mind, Dainya. So Dainya and Autsukya, these are the two small emotions called Sanjari Bhavas or Vibhijari Bhavas to suggest the main rasa called Vipralamba Shringara. While it is full of Guru, there will be 6 matras, and Laghu, it is only 3 matras. Heaviness with matras in Magana indicates Dainya due to the weight, and Autsukya. When you have Autsukya, your mind should be free from weight. Then only you can move. When you have Autsukya, you have to move slowly and to know there what is happening. So your mind will start moving. When movement is there, then weight should diminish, and then Nagana comes. So Magana and Nagana, these two ganas play a pivotal role in the Mandakranta meter to suggest the Vipralamba Shringara. Heaviness with matras like Magana, not like matra, the Gana like Magana, and indicates Dainya due to the weight, and Autsukya by Nagana with Laghava. One is Laghu and the other is Guru. These two states of mind, Dainya and Autsukya, are the permanent Sanjari Bhavas, Venchakas, to suggest the Vipralamba Shringara of Gopis. This is why the Mahakavi Kalidasa, the great Kalidasa, has selected Mandakranta for composing a Sandesha Kavya, namely Maka Sandesha. Even this Vipralamba Shringara finally suggests the significance of Bhakti Bhava of Gopis, and how it becomes the principal upaya, that is marga, for Brahma Sakshatkara. Even Bhattadiri has gone to the extent to declare a statement through Uddhava that evam bhakri sagala bhuvane nekshira nashrutava kim shastrauhaihi kimiha tapasa gopikabhyo namostu. Bhattadiri made it very clear that Uddhava learned the real principles of bhakti, which led to ultimate realization of self. The crux of Advaita Vedanta from Gopis. Krishna sent Uddhava to Gopavati only to study the nature of bhakti, real bhakti. Uddhava is a bhakta, but his bhakta is led by Shastrajnana. So, Gopikas without any Shastras, they have not gone to any schools. They have not even a primary education. Elementary education they don't have. But still, they are fully knowledgeable persons. They are in the form of knowledge. They are in the form of God. And they are identical to the God. So, here Krishna sent Uddhava to learn, to study what is the real nature of bhakti from Gopis. Even Lord Krishna calls Uddhava as Buddhi Sattama. In spite of all this, even though he calls Buddhi Sattama, Krishna selected Uddhava to take his message to Gopis. Krishna would have selected even a normal servant. Why this great king, the great minister, Uddhava, has been selected? He is an old man. He is a very, very scholarly person, occupying a very high position in the cabinet of Krishna, the main minister. That Uddhava, Krishna selected that Uddhava to take this message as a servant to Gopis. It is simply to learn real Nishkama Bhakti from Gopis, those who find no difference in their life. Bheda Buddhi Nasha is the real Lakshana of a liberated soul. In Dashaka 84, where Bhattadiri depicts Samanda Panchaka Yatra, the 7th verse, Apagata viraha vyathaastadata rahasi vidhaya dadatha tattva bodham परमसुखचिदात्मकोऽहमात्मेत्युदयतु वा स्फुटमेव चेतसीति. So, the meaning of this verse, having thus assuaged in solitude the grief of the Gopikas arising from their separation from you, you didst bless them so as to generate in them the realization of the truth that you, of the nature of supreme consciousness, bliss, are their innermost self. He is the innermost self of all living beings. So, abhagata virahavyadhastadata rahasi vidhaya dadatha tattva bodham paramasukhachidatmakohamalmetyudayatu va sphudameva chetasiri. This is the advice given by Krishna to gopis. And here, having thus told by Krishna, the gopis became painless. They get rid of all types of sorrows, worldly sorrows, and they enjoyed the real bliss, the real ananda with the advices of Krishna. The nature of Purana and Kavya are quite different. Bhagavata is a Purana and Narayaniya is a Bhakti Kavya. The detailed Vamsa Varnana, Sarga Pradisarga Varnana, etc., which are essentially the characteristics of a Purana, are kept away by Narayana Bhattadiri while selecting such stories. He selected only such stories which will directly bearing with bhakti, which will directly kindle bhakti, and only such Venjakas, stories in the form of Venjakas, are being selected to do proper Vengya for suggesting the real sense of bhakti in the Kavya. For example, the entire, he is a man of great brevity. His Sangrana Chaduri, his competency in condensing the stories. For example, in the Mahabharata story, the entire Bhagavad Gita, he has condensed in a half of a verse. Not even one verse. He took only half of a verse. He says, Ko vadhya kotra handa tadiha vadhabhiyam brojya mayyarpidatma dharmyam yuddham charedi prakriti manayatha darshayan vishwarupam. This 86 Dashaka 6th shloka. So again in Dashaka 35, if you go back, in several places we can see one or two suitable examples I want to point out. One of the best examples, more than this, Bhagavad Gita, the entire Sundara Kanda, the story, has been abridged very cleverly, very brilliantly by Malpatur Narayana Bhatta. It is thus: Todvarta karnano dyadgarudurujava sambadi vakya proternarnodhi andarnagari janagajam vishya dattwanguliyam pradyudyoddyanam akshakshapana sodhabando dashasyam društva pluštva jalangam jhatiti sahanuman mauliratnam dadaute. Here the Sampadi, who developed new wings on listening to your holy account, actually he lost all the wings. But hearing the story, the new wings have been developed in his body. And go before flying away directions about Sita's whereabouts to Hanuman, who thereupon, the Hanuman, leaped over the ocean to Lanka, where he met Sita and gave her the signet ring. Then he destroyed the gardens of Lanka, killed Akshakumara, the son of Ravana, and in fight put up with the bondage of the Brahmastra employed by Meghanada, and met Ravana, burned Lanka, returned to the mainland, and presented to Rama the crest jewel given by Sita as a mark of recognition. See, what a wonderful brevity of expression. How his Sangrahana Chaturi, the condensing power, the entire gamut has been brought into one shloka. The entire Sundarakanda has been abridged with full propriety. The Jayadeva, along with his consort Padmavati, travelled throughout Bharatavarsha and spread bhakti with his composition Gita Govinda and its dance presentation Ashtapadi. Like other art forms and literary works, Narayaniyam also has been influenced by Gita Govinda and its dance form Ashtapadiyata. In the stories of Radha and Krishna, this influence can be traced out to a great extent. Especially the character Radha is not at all traceable in Bhagavata. Bhagavata, there is no character like Radha. In Narayaniya, we can see references of Radha in several contexts, especially in Rasakrida. This is a clear instance of high influence of Gita Govinda and its dance form on Narayaniya, that Ataprakara on Narayaniya. Even the Krishnatam, the well-known Sanskrit theatre of Guruvayur Devasthanam, belongs to Kerala, which has evolved during the same period, more or less the same period of Narayaniyam composition, also being influenced by Ashtapadi cult. In Ashtapadi dance, Krishna, Radha and a lady maid a friend of Radha are the three characters. Only three characters are there in that theatre, Ashtapadi theatre. As we discussed from the very beginning, we can visualize multi-dimensional approaches of Bhakti and Vedanta philosophy, their practical experiences through hundreds of characters with different aesthetic shades. Agre pashyami tejo nibitataragalayavali lobhaniyam piyusha plavitoham tadanu tadudare divyakaisoravesham tarunyarambharamyam paramasukharasaswadaromāñjitāngaihi āvītannāradādyaihi vilasadupanishatsundari mandalaischa sarve bhavantu sukhina sarve santu niramaya sarve bhadrani pasyantu ma kaschid dukhabhag bhavet. Srimad Bhagavadakhyōyam pratyaksha Krishna eva hi Siyukritosi maya natha mukryartham bhavasagare Guruvayupuradhisha prasida karunagara Purushottama Vaikuntha Tvai sarvam samarpitam. Shubhamastu. I have great reverence